Spring had arrived in the jungle. New leaves adorned the trees, colorful flowers bloomed everywhere, and sweet fragrances filled the air. The animals were happy, and the birds were singing songs. Amidst this joyful atmosphere, a piece of big news shook the entire jungle. King Lion had announced his wedding. The whole jungle got busy, preparing for the grand celebration. The elephants made garlands of roses, the deer hung colorful flags, and the monkeys set up swings in the trees. Eagles, owls, and other birds began arranging lights and decorations. King Lion gave a command: invite all the esteemed animals, but beware, do not invite the mouse. All the animals were surprised. What grudge did the king hold against the mouse? But a royal order was a royal order. No one dared to question it. The mouse's name was Chaka. Chaka was the most talkative, mischievous, and clever little mouse in the jungle. When he heard that he wasn't invited, he was hurt at first, but then he smiled and said, "All right, let's see how I steal the show without an invitation." Chaka had the finest suit tailored. He perfumed his fur, wore a tiny golden hat, and, singing and dancing, marched straight into the wedding, right at the front. All the animals stared at him in astonishment. None dared to stop him. The jungle paths were adorned with lights. A grand wedding pavilion had been set up in the open field. King Lion, smiling, sat beside his bride. Cranes, peacocks, and doves were all dancing merrily. Drums were beating loudly. Chaka danced at the very front, clapping his tiny hands, whistling, and wagging his small tail to catch everyone's attention. When King Lion saw that the mouse was making the biggest commotion, he growled, "Hey, how did this mouse sneak in? I specifically said not to invite him." Furious, the lion approached Chaka and roared, "Mouse, you weren't invited. What are you doing dancing here?" Chaka smiled innocently and said, "Your Majesty, before your wedding, I too was a lion." There was a moment of stunned silence, and then the whole pavilion erupted with laughter. Even the lion forgot his anger and started laughing. From that day on, Chaka became everyone's darling. But the story deepens from here. The truth was, once upon a time, Chaka really did have a lion-like role in the jungle. Chaka had saved the jungle multiple times with his cleverness. Once, he saved the jungle from hunters. Another time, he organized a water reservoir during a drought. And once, he collected enough food during a famine to save everyone from starvation. After these heroic acts, the animals affectionately started calling him the Little Lion. But when the real lion grew up and became king, Chaka's bravery was overlooked. Slowly, everyone began to forget him. Behind Chaka's words, "Before the wedding, I too was a lion," was a whole history of pride, service, love, and the cruel flow of time. After the wedding, King Lion thought, why not give Chaka a respectable position in the court? Chaka was made chief advisor, and Chaka excelled. He introduced many new policies. He provided protection to weaker animals. He established reserves of food and water. He created a security system against hunters. Gradually, Chaka became the most respected figure in the jungle. But time does not stand still. Chaka grew old. He could no longer dance, nor could he whistle. He no longer told long stories. One day, he quietly moved to a lonely corner of the jungle, where he would sit under the shade of trees and talk to himself. Some young animals, seeing him, would laugh. Is this the mouse who claimed he was once a lion? Chaka would smile and look up at the sky, saying, "A true lion is the one who saves others, not just the one who roars." And so, Chaka completed his story. A tiny mouse who, through cleverness, sacrifice, and service, won the hearts of an entire jungle, teaching all that greatness lies not in physical strength, but in the strength of the heart.